The portfolio is another method in addition to tests, conversations, projects, in-class work, observations, where a student can show the teacher their learning and their knowledge of course content. The way it works is that a student will look at an expectation that they had not previously demonstrated their learning in and they want to improve upon. So they practice, they get help, they improve, then they complete a portfolio page or slide in the slide deck. You can see it's right here in this post. And after they've completed it, they will meet with the teacher for a conference. The teacher goes over the slide, looks at it, and then asks some questions just to ensure that the work is truly the student's work and not the work of an older sibling or a tutor or a parent. And just to troubleshoot and see if there's any further errors in their thinking to make sure that they're on the right track and they really do understand this concept. Once they've completed the portfolio page and met with the teacher for the conference, the teacher will then be able to input in Teach Assist a new mark for that particular expectation, which can help to improve overall achievement levels. The portfolio is found on our Google Classroom. So when you go to Google Classroom, if you click on Stream, it orders things from what was most recently posted, the most recent things I put up. If you go to classwork, it's grouped according to different titles. So I would recommend going to classwork. The daily outlines at the top, it has all the check your understanding homework questions, videos, lots of support. So it's used every day, it's at the top. And if you scroll down under administration, under curriculum expectations and support material, multi-language learners, down to improved learning portfolio, it's at the very top of that section. If you click on grade 9 math portfolio, it may look a little bit different for you because I have the teacher side of things, but for students, if they click on it, they will see an attachment that says Silk Immersion Portfolio. So if they open it up, there's the title slide here. There's instructions, which walks you through how to plan the portfolio pages. And then there are a number of different slides for the expectations of the course. You don't have to do every single slide. You only have to complete the ones for the areas that you want to improve upon and meet with to demonstrate your improved learning. Let's say that you had an assessment and there was a question that you did not do well on and you want to improve in your learning and your mark in that area. So I'm using as an example a BEDMAS question. The first thing you need to do is learn the content, understand how to do BEDMAS. So you can learn it a number of ways. You can go back and watch the videos on the daily outline and do practice, check your understanding questions. You can come in for extra help and see me. You can go for peer tutor support, get help from home, whatever it is that you need to do to learn how to do BEDMAS correctly. Now, once you've learned how to do BEDMAS and you feel pretty confident with it, that's when you're going to go to the portfolio. So here, BEDMAS, when you look at the assessments, I have the expectation lettering right beside the name of what we're working on. So this one is C1.4. Up above, you can see that ratios, rates, and percent are B3.5. So in the portfolio, you're going to look for C1.4. So going over to the portfolio, right here in the portfolio, as you'd scroll along, C1.1, C1.2, C1.4. I know what BEDMAS stands for and can use it to simplify expressions. So on the right side of the portfolio, there's a spot for reflection and explanation. The left side is for examples. So what you're going to do is have examples of your work to now show that you can do BEDMAS questions. You can have a number of different examples, or what I did was just one really complex example. It's up to you how many examples and how much you need to do to show your learning. Things like exponents might only have, the questions are pretty small, so you might need to include a few different questions, but as you can see, this is a pretty long question, so one does the trick here. So you have an example of the question, you show your work on the left, and then on the right, you are explaining the steps as to how BEDMAS works. Now this one has a lot of actually explanation on the left as well, but under the reflection, it says, why did you choose this piece of work? How does it show your learning? Explain the concept steps. So think of yourself as the teacher explaining how BEDMAS works. Because if you can explain it to someone else, clearly you know how to do it. So you explain the steps on the right, and then you give an example of questions completed on the left to show that you know how to follow the rules of BEDMAS and you can solve BEDMAS questions. Additionally, you will see other posts come up that provide support for the portfolio. So for example, portfolio symbols is just a place where I've listed a number of symbols that someone could cut and paste into the slides to help them get kind of unique fonts or things like square root or degrees or exponent values. So you can just copy and paste those into the portfolio. Once a student has improved in their understanding of a concept by practicing and getting support, once they have completed their portfolio page and that's done, they can sign up for a conference session with me. So under Improved Learning Portfolio, they should go to Sign Up Sheet for Demonstration of Learning Conferences. And this document here allows students to sign up for a time to meet with me. So I have just an example on October 1st, Michael Scott. Michael's going to be meeting to show me Expectation B 3.2. And this is just a reminder over here, is your portfolio page done? Because it should be done before you come to meet with me. Otherwise, at the beginning of the conference, I'll say, okay, you need to go back and do your portfolio page first and reschedule with me. One final word of caution. If a student meets with me and is unable to answer the questions that I ask, doesn't seem to understand the concept, even when I provide reminders or do some teaching on the spot with them, and it becomes clear that someone else has done the portfolio page or they have just simply copied work or written what someone told them to do, they obviously cannot get an improved learning result mark for that if they haven't demonstrated their learning. So it is important that the work in the portfolio be their work and that they truly have learned that concept. If you have any questions about the portfolio, please feel free to reach out to me at my email address, janna.cylka@yrdsb.ca.